be filled with the Spirit. It is not a one-time deal. Being filled with the Holy Spirit. It is a consistent, constantly, daily, to be constantly filled with the Spirit. Beware of your fallen flesh. You know, and I know, that you can get kicked off pretty easy. How many? No, I'm not raising. How many got kicked off today at something? Nah, I'm not. Don't raise your hand. You got kicked off at your kids. You got kicked off at your family. You got kicked off with Mrs. Clinton. I mean, you got kicked off at something, and I don't mean in a superficial way. We kind of do. And I'm not talking about that, but I meant where it stirs up your blood pressure. When it stirs up your blood pressure, you need to be careful because you have a fallen flesh, and if you allow it, but don't be so pathetically no response. This verse is not teaching that you should not react, but react in a way that's godly to a person that's treating you evil. You just don't say, "That's okay, I'll let God take care of him all the way." And that's not what it's talking about. It is talking about to tell the truth and a matter of truth to that person in a manner that's going to help them. So, just take each verse as it means. Beware of your own flesh, for it will always try to defend itself and use righteous indignation as justification instead of remembering the example of Jesus. Your flesh will say, "And why should I not respond? Look what he did to me. I mean, I got a broken jaw. I'm going to be out for 10 weeks. Apparently, he did punch back because the flesh would have wanted him to. But what happened, the guy got his just and he's kicked off the team. We don't know all the details and all the story, but maybe he initiated, he punched him. But if you punch back, usually you're the one that gets it, so you don't know. 1 Peter 2:23. 1 Peter 2:23. Richard?
Who, when he was reviled, but not reviled not again, when he suffered, he dreaded not, but committed himself to him that judgeth righteously.
But he kept entrusting himself to him who justly, righteously does what God wants him to do. Just remember that when you are suffering for the cause of Christ, and here Peter is talking to a group of people who are going to be persecuted by the persecutors, the Romans. And he said, yes, they're going to persecute you. Your employee is going to persecute you. Your husband may persecute you. Your friends may persecute you. But remember, you now are a Christian. This principle is not just a New Testament truth, but was also taught in the Old Testament. Leviticus 19:18. Peggy. Leviticus 19:18. And
thou shalt not avenge nor bear any grudge against the children of thy people, but thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself. I am the Lord.
You shall not take vengeance. I will not slit their tires, break their windshield, nor bear any grudge against the sons of your people. But you shall love your neighbor as yourself. I am the Lord. Very strange. Interesting. Proverbs 20:22. Proverbs 20:22. Frankie?
Say not thou, I will recompense evil,
but wait on the Lord, and he shall save thee.
Just don't let it come to your mind. If it does, stop. That's the reason you have to be filled with the Spirit. If you're having a good day, it seems that you are less likely to be offended by what someone does to you. If you're having a good day and you're filled with the Spirit of God, there seems to be less likely that you can be offended by what happens to you, because you're so filled with the Spirit that you don't recognize that someone's trying to do something. So do not say, I will repay evil. Wait for the Lord, and He will save you. Luke chapter 22. Jimmy? Luke 22.
I hear you.
I know, you hear me all right. What a wonderful encouragement this should be to Spirit-indwelt persons. For if the coming of the promised Spirit can change Peter's heart, it can effect similar change in our heart and our response to unfair treatment. Luke 22:47.
And while he yet spake, behold, a multitude, and he that was called Judas, one of the 12, went before them, and drew near unto Jesus to kiss him.
Is that 47?
Yeah.
Yeah.
48?
But Jesus said unto him, Judas, betrayest thou the Son of Man with a kiss?
Go ahead.
When they which were about him saw what would follow, they said unto him, Lord, shall we smite with the sword? And one of them smote the servant of the high priest and cut off his right ear.
Go ahead.
And Jesus answered and said, Suffer ye thus far. And he touched his ear and healed him. Then Jesus said unto the chief priests and captains of the temple and the elders which were come to him, Be ye come out as against a thief with swords and staves.
Okay. So Jesus wasn't real happy with Peter taking a sword and trying to chop off his head. Every man should give away according to what he has. And he who gives curses, he who gives curses probably gives them because he has so much cursing in him. You can always tell what a man is like by noticing what comes from him. If he curses, it is because cursings abound in him. But you are to give blessings to others because you have inherited so much blessings from Christ. Your whole tone, your whole temper, your whole spirit, your whole language, action should be the means of blessing to others. Not tendering evil for evil or reviling for evil, but counterwise blessings. Surely that is the perfection of compassion. Compassion may go out on chivalrous errands with sensitive hands and lowly minds, and may meet with ingratitude and anger, rebuff from those whom it seeks to serve. And when the one we have been compassionate, nursing turns to revile us, when we have had compassion on so many people in our lifetime, and they turn the table on us and revile us and get us mad, and treat our ministry with contempt, how easy it is to become sour and hard, to return reviling for reviling, and to throw up the nightly service with disgust. But the Lord will so perfect the compassion that even in the midst of reviling, it will continue in blessings, and in an atmosphere of ingratitude and contempt will toil on the ministry of healing them that are bruised. The only way you're ever going to turn a person who is reviling you, the only way you're ever going to stop him reviling you is for you to continue to bless him. If anybody needs blessing is a person who's reviling you. The only way they're ever going to stop their cursing and their madness is for God to change their life and change their attitude. What say you how to these soft graces? Are you not a respondent issue? He, Spurgeon said, he who continues in his heart, sanctifies Christ as Lord, becomes possession by a compassion which moves in delicate sensitivity and in humbleness of mind, and which remains sweet and persistent in hostile atmosphere of murmuring and contempt. That's a tough statement, isn't it? To remain in a right spirit towards those who revile you or insult for insult. Notice that word insult. It's a word, reviling, revailing, one who reviles, as in 1 Corinthians 5:11. 1 Corinthians 5:11, is that your 1 Corinthians 5:11? Lois?
Knowing therefore the terror of the Lord, we persuade men, but we are made manifest unto God, and I trust also are made manifest in your consciences.
What? You sure that's it?
1 Corinthians 5:11.